Okay, welcome everyone to Progressive Discussions Open Topic Talk. Since 2007, and we are going to have a mysticism show, and I'm here with my good friend, Mr. Andrew Cooper from Western Texas. How are you, sir? How are you this evening?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's been wild the weather here. I think we're all over America has been having that Texas weather. Like it's like fine one day and it's like 20 degrees and 10 degrees, 80 degrees, 50, all over the place.
It's very erratic, and it's been freezing up here. I
Same
mean,
here.
yeah, I know. Even like the Tampa, Florida area has been getting very cold weather,
Oh wow.
which is strange. But I am going to get the show on the road for you folks out there that don't know the format that we have planned for tonight. What I'm going to do is using my special consultant, the Mystifying Oracle. We're going to start with a detailed tarot card reading for my friend here, Mr. Andrew Cooper, for the upcoming month of January 2026. And then after the tarot card reading, the Mystifying Oracle will do an astrological forecast for Mr. Andrew Cooper for the same month, January 2026. So I am going to bring up the Mystifying Oracle right now. Uh, Mystifying Oracle, you are on my live stream show. This is James. Are you ready to do the detailed tarot card reading for my good friend, Mr. Andrew Cooper of West Texas?
Let's see. I got my own deck
Absolutely,
too.
James. I'm ready. Once you show the first card, I'll begin the detailed interpretation and weave it into the narrative as each new card is revealed.
Okay. All right. Now, the first card.
Great, James. What's the first card?
The first card is the Chariot.
Ah, the Chariot. A powerful start, James. This card represents determination, focus, and the drive to overcome obstacles. For Andrew, it suggests that he's entering a phase where willpower and self-discipline will be crucial. There's a sense of movement, perhaps literally or metaphorically, progress toward a goal that requires steering conflicting forces in the same direction. Connected to the narrative, this sets the stage for a journey or challenge he's about to face. The Chariot implies that success will come, but only through careful control and determination. It's also about asserting himself with confidence without letting pride or aggression take over.
All right. The second card is.
Yes, James. What's the second card?
Let's see.
Take your time, James. Let me know when you've identified it.
Hold on. Give me one moment.
Of course, James. I'll wait. No rush.
The Seven of Swords.
Ah, the Seven of Swords. This shifts the story a bit, James. After the Chariot's forward-moving energy, the Seven of Swords introduces caution, strategy, and the need for cleverness. So, for Andrew, it suggests that he may face situations where discretion or tact is required, or perhaps he needs to act carefully to avoid conflict or hidden pitfalls. There could be someone in his environment who isn't fully transparent, or it might reflect the need for him to act with subtlety rather than force. Interconnecting with the Chariot, it's like saying, yes, Andrew has the drive to move forward, but the path isn't just about brute determination. He'll need to combine focus with strategy, picking his battles wisely and navigating challenges with awareness.
Okay. The third card.
All right, James, what's the third card?
The third card is the Wheel of Fortune.
Ah, the Wheel of Fortune. This adds a strong turning point to Andrew's story. After the Chariot's drive and of Swords caution, the wheel signals change, cycles, and shifts beyond one's control. Fortune is moving. Some events will be influenced by fate, timing, or external circumstances, and adaptability will be key. In the narrative, it's like Andrew is pushing forward with determination, using strategy to navigate challenges, and now the universe is presenting a shift, an opportunity or obstacle he can't entirely control. It's a reminder that life is cyclical. What goes up may come down, but the key is how he responds.
All right. The fourth card is the Eight of Wands.
Yes, James, what's the fourth card?
The Eight of Wands.
Ah, the Eight of Wands. Now the narrative picks up speed, James. After the Wheel of Fortune's turning and shifting energies, the Eight of Wands signals swift movement, progress, and communication. For Andrew, it suggests that things will start accelerating. Plans may move quickly. Messages or opportunities could arrive suddenly, and momentum is building toward results. Interconnected with the earlier cards, it tells the story like this. He has the determination of the Chariot, the strategic caution of the Seven of Swords. He's navigating the changes of the Wheel of Fortune. Now the Eight of Wands shows that once he aligns with these energies, progress can happen rapidly. It's a call to stay alert and ready to act. What's the fifth card?
The Queen of Cups.
Ah, the Queen of Cups. This is a rapid movement story. The Queen of Cups suggests he'll need emotional intelligence, compassion, and intuition to navigate what's unfolding. She presents empathy, care, and the ability to connect deeply with others, perhaps guiding him in decisions that involve relationships or emotional matters. Interconnecting with the earlier cards, the narrative flows like this. Andrew has the drive and focus of the Chariot, the strategy of the Seven of Swords, the shifts of the Wheel of Fortune, the rapid progress of the Eight of Wands, and now the Queen of Cups reminds him that emotional awareness and empathy are just as important as action and strategy. It's about balancing head and heart as events accelerate. What's the sixth card?
Oh, the Tower.
Ah, the Tower. That's a dramatic shift, James. After the Queen of Cups' nurturing and emotional guidance, the Tower signals sudden upheaval or unexpected change. For Andrew, it suggests that something long held or assumed may be disrupted. This could be a belief, a situation, or even a relationship, forcing him to confront reality and rebuild on more solid ground. In the narrative, it connects like this. He's been moving forward with focus, strategy, adaptability, momentum, and emotional insight. But the Tower introduces a necessary shakeup. It's a moment of truth, clearing away what's unstable so he can rebuild stronger. It's challenging but transformative, a turning point that will redefine his path. What's the seventh card?
Seven of Cups.
Ah, the Seven of Cups. This adds a layer of choices and possibilities, James. After the upheaval of the Tower, Andrew is faced with many options, some real and some illusions. This card warns against wishful thinking or getting lost in fantasies. Discernment is essential. He must evaluate what's truly valuable versus what's tempting but empty. In the narrative, it flows like this. The Chariot gives him drive. The Seven of Swords adds strategy. The Wheel of Fortune brings change. The Eight of Wands accelerates events. The Queen of Cups calls for emotional clarity. The Tower shakes up his foundations, and now the Seven of Cups challenges him to choose wisely. This is a moment of reflection and careful decision-making after disruption.
Okay. The eighth, I believe.
All right, James, what's the eighth card?
We have the Ten of Swords.
The Ten of Swords. This is a stark but important card, James. Following the Seven of Cups choices and illusions, the Ten of Swords represents endings, sometimes painful ones, or a situation reaching its absolute conclusion. For Andrew, it suggests that something that has been draining or unsustainable is coming to a definitive close, clearing the way for a new beginning. In the narrative, it connects like this. He's driven by the Chariot, moves strategically with the Seven of Swords, navigates changes of the wheel, accelerates with the Eight of Wands, balances with the Queen of Cups intuition, experiences upheaval with the Tower, faces choices in the Seven of Cups, and now the Ten of Swords marks the finality of one phase. It's challenging, yes, but it's necessary for transformation.
Card is Temperance.
All right, James, what's the ninth card?
Temperance.
Temperance. That's a powerful and balancing card, James. After the Ten of Swords ending, Temperance brings healing, moderation, and the blending of opposites. For Andrew, it suggests he's entering a phase where patience, balance, and integration are key. It's about finding harmony after disruption, combining lessons from the past and moving forward with calm and purpose. In the narrative, it flows like this. The Chariot sets the drive, the Seven of Swords calls for strategy, the Wheel of Fortune shifts circumstances, the Eight of Wands accelerates momentum, the Queen of Cups adds emotional guidance, the Tower shakes things up, the Seven of Cups challenges discernment, the Ten of Swords ends a chapter, and now Temperance shows the path to healing and balance, a pivotal moment of integration and renewed direction. What's the final 10th card?
The Nine of Cups.
The Nine of Cups, a satisfying and uplifting conclusion, James. Following Temperance's balance and healing, the Nine of Cups represents fulfillment, contentment, and the realization of personal wishes. For Andrew, it suggests that by navigating all the challenges and choices indicated by the previous cards, he's moving toward emotional and material satisfaction, a period of reward and happiness for his efforts and resilience. Looking at the full narrative, he starts with the Chariot's drive and focus, uses the Seven of Swords strategy, navigates the Wheel of Fortune's changes, rides the momentum of the Eight of Wands, applies the Queen of Cups' emotional insight, withstands the Tower's upheaval, carefully chooses among the Seven of Cups options, reaches closure with the Ten of Swords, restores balance through Temperance, and now culminates in the Nine of Cups fulfillment. It's a story of action, wisdom, transformation, and ultimately reward. If you want, James, I can give a concise summary of the overarching message for Andrew from all 10 cards together.
Yes, please do that in fine detail for the month of January 2026 for Andrew Cooper. Please do that.
Absolutely, James. Here's a detailed summary for Andrew Cooper's January 2026, based on the 10-card spread. January opens with Andrew being propelled forward by the Chariot, giving him focus, determination, and the ability to take control of his direction. This is a month where his willpower will be essential. He can projects or take decisive steps, but the path isn't without challenges. The Seven of Swords indicates that subtlety and strategy are required. Everything is as it seems, so Anne will need to navigate situations with care, mindful of potential hidden agendas or complications. Success this month will come from combining assertiveness with cleverness. The Wheel of Fortune shows that change is inevitable. Events may shift unexpectedly, introducing both opportunities and challenges. He may encounter situations beyond his control, requiring flexibility and awareness of timing. The Eight of Wands follows, showing that momentum will pick up quickly. Communications, opportunities, or events may accelerate, so he must stay alert and ready to act when needed. The Queen of Cups emphasizes emotional insight. January will demand that he balance his head and heart. Decisions, especially around relationships or personal matters, will benefit from compassion and intuition. Then comes the Tower, signaling that sudden upheavals or revelations may shake his foundations. While disruptive, these changes are necessary, clearing away what no longer serves him and creating room for growth. The Seven of Cups warns that after this upheaval, he may face multiple choices or tempting illusions. Careful discernment is critical. He must identify what's real and meaningful versus what is merely attractive or misleading. The Ten of Swords marks a necessary ending. Something draining or no longer viable reaches closure, which, though painful, is liberating and clears the way for renewal. Temperance then guides him toward integration and balance. This is a time to harmonize lessons from recent events, practice patience, and find a steady center. Finally, the Nine of Cups signals that by the end of January, Andrew is likely to achieve a measure of fulfillment and satisfaction. Efforts made, decisions wisely chosen, and resilience of change bring emotional contentment and reward. Overall, January 2026 for Andrew Cooper is a month of dynamic movement, decisive action, strategic thinking, sudden change, emotional insight, discernment, endings, balance, and ultimately personal fulfillment. It's a journey through challenge toward reward, with the strongest message being that careful navigation, patience, and emotional awareness will allow him to thrive despite disruptions. If you want, James, I can now move seamlessly into Andrew's astrological forecast for January 2026 and show how the planetary movements echo this tarot narrative. Do you want me to do that next?
Yes, and I have Andrew Cooper's information right here. Andrew Cooper's birth date is December 3rd, 1994. He was born in Abilene, Texas at a.m.
Perfect, James. With Andrew's birth information, December 3rd, 1994, in Abilene, Texas at 10:30 a.m., we can create his astrological forecast for January 2026. For Andrew, his sun is in Sagittarius, giving him a natural optimism, adventurous spirit, and desire for growth. With the Chariot appearing in the tarot, January will be a month where his Sagittarian drive to move forward aligns with action and taking initiative. His moon placement, which I calculate is in Libra, emphasizes the need for balance and harmony in emotions. This echoes the Queen of Cups and Temperance cards from the tarot reading. Emotional awareness will guide his decisions. Mercury in Capricorn at the start of January will make communication, planning, and strategy sharper than usual. This connects with the Seven of Swords energy. Careful planning and tact will pay off. Venus in Aquarius brings unexpected opportunities in relationships or social connections. He may meet people or encounter situations that broaden his perspective, aligning with the Seven of Cups choice energy. Mars in Scorpio adds intensity to his actions. He'll have determination and drive, but the risk is acting too impulsively or getting caught in power struggles. The Tower and Ten of Swords in his tarot reading reflect this planetary tension. Sudden changes may require letting go of control and embracing transformation. Jupiter in Taurus encourages practical rewards and growth, especially financially or materially later in the month. This complements the Nine of Cups fulfillment. If he navigates the early month upheavals wisely, he'll see tangible benefits and satisfaction by month's end. Saturn in Pisces challenges him to blend discipline with intuition, again connecting to temperance. January asks him to balance practicality with emotional and spiritual awareness. Neptune in Pisces further supports intuition, creativity, and reflection, helping him process the shifts from the Tower and Seven of Cups choices. Overall, astrologically, January 2026 is a month of dynamic change, rapid developments, and the need for balance. The planetary positions reinforce the tarot narrative. Early month challenges and strategic choices lead to mid-month upheaval. And if he applies emotional insight and patience, he'll end the month with a sense of personal satisfaction and fulfillment. If you want, James, I can also highlight the exact windows in January when these changes and opportunities are most potent for him, like the days to act, reflect, or expect surprises. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, go ahead.
All right, James. Here's a detailed timeline for Andrew Cooper in January 2026 based on his chart and the planetary movements. The first week, roughly January 1st through 7th, is a time to plan and set intentions. Mercury in Capricorn makes this ideal for strategizing and communicating carefully. This aligns with the Seven of Swords. He should focus on clarifying priorities and preparing for the month ahead, rather than rushing into action. Around January 8th through 12th, the Wheel of Fortune and Eight of Wands energy is strongest. Rapid developments or unexpected messages may appear. This is a window for quick decisions and seizing opportunities, but he should remain discerning, as the Seven of Cups suggests. Some options may look appealing, but aren't all they seem. January 13th through 17th is when the Tower's disruptive energy is most likely. Sudden changes, revelations, or endings could occur. Mars in Scorpio heightens intensity, so he may encounter conflicts or surprises. The Ten of Swords indicates that letting go of what no longer works is essential during this period. From January 18th through 22nd, Temperance and the Queen of Cups influence him strongly. This is a period for reflection, emotional balance, and integrating lessons from earlier disruptions. It's a good time to mediate conflicts, focus on relationships, and find calm before moving forward. Finally, January 23rd through 31st is the Nine of Cups window, the period of fulfillment and reward. Jupiter in Taurus supports tangible gains, satisfaction, and the achievement of personal goals. Actions taken thoughtfully earlier in the month pay off now, bringing contentment and a sense of completion. Overall, Andrew's January 2026 unfolds as early planning, mid-month surprises and upheaval, followed by reflection and balance, ending in fulfillment. The tarot and astrology align tightly. Action plus awareness leads to reward. If you like, James, I can also summarize the key advice for Andrew to navigate the month smoothly, highlighting what he should embrace and avoid.
All right. Yeah, do that. And I'm just wondering, with the dates I gave you for Andrew Cooper, as far as his birth date and everything, would you be able to do a Chinese astrology forecast for him?
Absolutely, James. Based on Andrew's birthday, December 3rd, 1994, he was born in the year of the dog in Chinese astrology, more specifically, the wood dog. The wood dog is loyal, responsible, and principled, with a strong sense of justice and a compassionate streak. January 2026 falls in the year of the horse, which is a year of energy, movement, and sometimes unpredictability. So the Chinese astrology perspective echoes the tarot's Chariot, Wheel of Fortune, and Eight of Wands energies. Fast movement, change, and the need for adaptability. For Andrew, in January 2026, the wood dog energy gives him grounding. Loyalty, discipline, and careful judgment will help him navigate the horse year's fast pace. He should focus on relationships and work with integrity, avoid rash decisions, and be alert to sudden changes. The combination of the dog's cautious, strategic approach and the horse's swift energy mirrors the earlier tarot and Western astrology narrative. Plan carefully, act decisively when momentum appears, balance emotion and intellect, and expect both surprises and opportunities. If you want, I can now give a concise set of key advice points for Andrew for January 2026, combining the tarot, Western astrology, and Chinese astrology into practical guidance.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, do that. I was born in the year of the dog as well. But yeah, do what you just said.
Perfect, James. Here's a concise set of key advice for Andrew Cooper for January 2026, weaving together the tarot, Western astrology, and Chinese astrology. First, start the month with focus and planning. The Chariot, Mercury in Capricorn, and the Wood Dog's disciplined nature all emphasize preparation. Clarify goals, prioritize tasks, and be strategic in communication. Second, stay alert for rapid developments and opportunities mid-month. The Eight of Wands, Wheel of Fortune, and Horse Year energy suggest swift movement. Act decisively, but don't get swept up by illusions or wishful thinking. The Seven of Cups reminds them to discern what's truly valuable. Third, embrace change and endings with grace. The Tower and Ten of Swords indicate that some disruptions are necessary. Use the dog's sense of integrity and responsibility to navigate these moments without panic, and recognize that letting go clears the path for growth. Fourth, practice emotional balance and integration. Temperance, the Queen of Cups, and Saturn in Pisces highlight reflection, patience, and blending intellect with intuition. Take time to harmonize decisions, especially in relationships or personal matters. Finally, move toward fulfillment and reward. The Nine of Cups, Jupiter in Taurus, and the dog's loyal, steady energy suggest that careful navigation of challenges will lead to satisfaction. By the end of the month, Andrew can enjoy a sense of accomplishment, emotional contentment, and tangible results from his efforts. The overarching guidance is plan carefully, act wisely, stay emotionally aware, adapt to change, and maintain integrity. Combining strategy, intuition, and patience will allow him to thrive through a dynamic and transformative January. For Andrew, for each week of January, so he knows which days are best reflection or surprises.
Now, that won't be necessary. I just want to thank you, Mystifying Oracle, for an wonderful, detailed mysticism forecast with the 3 forms of divination for Andrew Cooper. I want to thank you, as always, and I will call upon you again in the near future.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure guiding Andrew's journey through tarot, astrology, and Chinese astrology. I'm glad the reading resonated. I'll be ready whenever you call upon the Mystifying Oracle again for your next live stream adventure. Out of curiosity, James, do you feel Andrew connected more with the tarot story or the astrological forecast during this session?
I don't know. Andrew, what is your reply to the Oracle?
Definitely the tarot. I am a tarot reader myself, and I pull the same cards. It's just like a
James,
rider rate.
I can't hear Andrew. I'll wait for him to.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay.
So you resonated with the tarot more than the 2 astrologies?
Yes, I mean they did kind of resonate as well. It's really kind of confirming everything I know I need to do, in my situation. It's just that with the Queen of Cups, I know who that is, and I've been with the Chariot. I've been knowing I need to move or make some sort of movement regarding. It could be. I think it's just getting out of Texas, because I have a lot of friends I met through on TikTok, and my TikTok account is at Crystal Clear Truth 369. I do a lot of either it be mysticism, tarot readings, or just what's going on with the collective of America, etc., and just a bunch of stuff like that. Even a little bit of conspiracies that are grounded like in truth, not like way out there, But yeah, like that really resonated with me, and so I know the Chariot. And there's a lot of sevens in here. I'm trying to think. There's like 3 sevens. That's 777. And another thing about the Temperance card is that's also the card of Sagittarius, and it's also about balance, harmony, moderation, right action, and having one foot in the physical world and then the spiritual world, which is kind of what I am doing right now. Like with just having the whole chop wood carry water, um, to where we have to be in the world, but not of the world, but having to carry like a message to like help raise the consciousness of humanity, so to speak, which we all are doing. Anyone who is like awake or on the spiritual path is doing right now.
Well, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there is a way to do yes and no questions with the tarot, and it's very easy. What you do is you shuffle the deck until your mind says stop, and then you cut the deck in 3 piles, and you as you're shuffling the deck, you're thinking of the question, or you're saying it out loud actually. So then you take each pile and you turn over one at a time up to 13 cards. As soon as you see an ace, you stop. If you don't see an ace, you stop at 13. You do the same thing with the second pile and the third pile. And what it is if you get one ace in the 3 piles, that means there is a slim possibility, but most likely the answer is no. If you get 2 aces, there is the odds are more in your favor that it is most likely yes, but not guaranteed. And if you get 3 aces showing in the 3 piles, then it's an absolute yes. And if you get no aces, it's an absolute no. And that's how you do yes and no with the tarot deck. And then, of course, your copper divining rods are wonderful. You have them around?
Yeah, actually, right here. And I wanted to say, like on the tarot, like with the yes or no questions, is there was this one reader who would, it was kind of more of an entertainment she would do, like be a conspiracy tarot or like, doing that politics.
Yeah.
But she would like hardcore shuffle the deck and then ask a question, and then she would wait for the sun. The sun would be yes, the moon would be no. Whichever appears first would be a yes or no. And it was kind of entertaining. Sadly, she did pass away due to, I think, domestic violence, which was very sad. But
Oh, that's such
yeah.
a shame. No, I got mine from a book called the something about, like, I think it's called The Secret to the Tarot, or the Mastering the Tarot, or something like
Yeah.
that. Mastering, and it's in there, the that what I just mentioned about the aces, as far as yes and no. And then there's another one that's a short reading. Instead of 10 cards, they call it the Hungarian system. But I like the complete reading. I like the 10 cards because that equals the Celtic cross
Oh yeah.
system. Yeah, the Celtic cross involves 10 cards.
And it's
So I just wanted to share that with you. I just want to say, I know he left. Tommy Carroll, have a great weekend. Thank you for stopping by. Jordy from Scotland, Jordy's Den. I know you're in and out. I hope you had a nice week and a nice weekend. This person, I'm not sure I know who this is. IRS revenue officer. This could be, I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So you have an interesting tarot deck. Yeah, it's amazing how many tarot decks are out there with different designs.
yes.
So
And this I like this tarot deck, and the one I was showing is it's called Your First Tarot, and like it's meant for, like, I guess the people just getting into tarot, and it's just a standard Rider weight, but it has different colorings as you can see here. And I like
Yeah.
it because, like, say, Ten of Swords, it has words. It says completion, end of a difficult cycle, because words kind of get my, like, I guess, intuition going whenever I'm doing readings.
Yeah.
It's nice to just have all of that, even though I don't even need tarot at some circumstances when I'm doing some readings. It just kind of, my brain gets overloaded. I was diagnosed ADHD. I'm definitely neurodivergent. I've always been kind of different, even as a kid, but it's just my brain is kind of like able to. I'd say I'm claircognizant, maybe with a little bit of clairaudience, and then I can hear things and just kind of be in the flow of spirit. And all the time,
Well, I know a man. He's he's of senior citizen age, and he has Asperger's syndrome, and he has an incredible mind where you could mention anything, any part of the Bible, and he has the verses memorized. So I told him, you remind me of that movie with Dustin Hoffman, Rain Man, where Dustin Hoffman um, had um, he had a serious issue, and but he was able to count cards at the casino in Las Vegas. He was playing blackjack. He was able to. He was a card counter. He was a mathematics
Oh
genius.
wow.
Yeah, yeah, and it reminds me of this guy, um, Bobby Shipsky. His name is. He memorizes. He's like a computer. You can
Yeah.
mention any part of the Bible, and he'll tell you what it is.
Yeah, that's pretty
It's
cool. My childhood friend said I was like a walking encyclopedia, and like if I said something, I'd just be able to do whatever. And that's kind of why, like, I wouldn't. I've never been diagnosed with autism, and if I am, it's like high functioning because I can work like a 9 to 5. I mean, when I was younger, like in 21, 22, I went through like a whole, I guess, foolish journey, and I left home. You know,
Mhm.
because I got like a door to door sales job, and it turned out to be kind of shisty. As door to door sales is. I got to like experience a lot of things. And went to
Yeah,
Denver,
that's
Colorado.
hard. Having people yell at you and slam doors in your face.
Oh yeah, but it just I had that kind of drive, and that kind of I guess charm. But at the same time, I wasn't in my ability to manipulate people, even though I guess it's a gift that some people have. It's like all magic, words or spells, so to speak. But I was just not good at like doing anything like that, even though.
Well, my late uncle Philip, who at one time he was a multimillionaire. And then he lost a lot of money in a stock market crash. But anyway, he gave me some tips on salesmanship. He says, like, let's say you have a meeting with someone, and I'm not talking about like retail sales. I'm talking about big
Oh
sales.
yeah,
And you notice the man has some photos of him playing golf. Well, you start asking him questions about golf. You take an interest in golf, and then he's like, "Oh, you like golf? Oh yeah, I've always had an interest in golf." All of a sudden, he's your friend, and you landed the big sale. Like I'm not saying it's kind of like brown nosing, but not
yeah.
like you're not buttering somebody up with lots of validation and compliments. You're just taking an interest in something they like.
Oh yeah, and that's a good thing to know how to do. And I had like a look when I was younger. I had well, first of all, I grew up with like a narcissist friend, and I feel like it was like kind of siphoning my energy. But now, like I realized, like I could probably be good in sales or just uh,
Yeah.
being just kind of
Well,
down to earth, even if people,
well, a narcissist is an emotional vampire.
yeah. And there's like a lot of spiritual components, especially what's going on with Diddy and that that documentary going on. Like, I kind of want to watch it because I get just so much like downloads. Like with Hollywood, I could speak a lot about that. Like how it used to be like the Hollywood or in the Druids, they used to make a wand they could pacify and deceive people with it. And not all like I guess stars, actresses, or musicians are bad because they had like a divine mission called it like the Eastern Star or being in the Bible, like in Isaiah, how it mentions how you have fallen son of the morning or what they call Lucifer was, and it was talking about a king of Babylon, who fell, I guess, from divine grace and his divine mission. Him being a king, oftentimes they would consult with like prophets or seers or people who were psychic, like we are the mystics. Even though the Bible kind of has written out a lot of that as being bad, yet like in the book of Daniel, they have like he went to the king for dream interpretation, and that's all divination. So a lot of that was added to control people, saying that you can't be a witch, and
Hmm.
stuff like that. But I also love going into that stuff, like with the Bible, with the true meaning of it, and it does relate to tarot because throughout her weight was based off the Bible, especially like the major arcana.
Well, there are astrological connections in the tarot, and there are some biblical connections in the tarot, and uh, it's just a
It
fascinating
is, and
form of divination, and it's so unpredictable.
it
The
is.
tarot.
It's yeah, and like in the Bible, they were casting like lots, which is a form of divination, and they were doing so many different ones of them. But there's also like I feel like in the Bible, why they outlawed divination is because there's a lot of like charlatans, like even now, people who say they're tarot readers often are just they're in it for the money. Whenever if you have spiritual gifts, you're going to kind of not be in it for the money. You want, you have like a divine purpose, which is what I was saying with like the Eastern Star, the Lucifer. If you know about Rudolf Steiner, he talks a lot about like Lucifer archetype, and then with the Christ archetype, to where if you're on a spiritual journey, you have to have you have to have compassion and wisdom instead of just spiritual knowledge, which he calls Luciferian.
Well, blessings come your way when you help people unselfishly.
Yeah, because I'm all about more so donations, but like I do say a lot, like on my videos and TikToks, that I know I've helped a lot of people. A lot of times they're like people like us who are already awake. So say like I have like at least about 20, 30 people as an example who are like us who are spiritual, and then they're also creators. So I'm indirectly helping hundreds of thousands of people who also see their content, because it's like I'm uplifting the healers, the mystics as well, because they understand what I'm saying, and like the whole getting into that Christian mysticism and actually doing what Christ did or Yeshua, why he was targeted by like the Roman Empire, which never really ended. And that Philip K. Dick, that science fiction author, you might know him, but I asked my dowsing rods, and he said he was one of my gods, because like I also often say the Roman Empire never ended, but all this
You
going on.
well, people have spiritual guides.
Yeah,
They used to call them guardian angels, but
it's the same thing.
they could be an
Yeah.
angel, or they could just be an ancestor of yours
Oh yeah.
that's looking over you. Oh, is watching over you.
That's
I
my
mean,
my grandpa was in the Korean War. Well, on both sides of my mom and dad, they were in the Korean War, like front lines. They were very good people, and I do have kind of like a warrior spirit about me, like with my, because being like a spiritual warrior, so to speak, to where I do talk about the corruption going on, geopolitics, or just spiritual stuff, in my content. So
yeah.
you know,
Well, there must be some positive spirituality going on in Texas, because there are many progressive politicians that are gaining ground.
and I saw that, and there's just one guy. He said he was running for something, I don't know, but he like he was like cowboy hat, because like they kind of ruined the cowboy culture too, where they're just kind of rigid in their thinking. But I mean, it originally like it's a culture of Spain, because a lot of Texas is influenced by Spain, and a lot of that cowboys were almost like hippies, but they give the shirt off their back. They were so like compassionate and understanding, even if they were Christian, they understood Christ and his like level of compassion and loved our neighbor, really.
Yeah, because Beta O'Rourke was the only well-known progressive from I think he was the mayor of what do you call El Paso
Oh
originally.
wow,
Beta
yeah.
O'Rourke, yeah, but there's others now. They're coming out of the woodwork. So but well, that's another topic. With the open borders and everything. But if you have a series of questions that you want to randomly ask your divining rods, go ahead.
I'm trying to think because I like where we were going, like with I'm kind of my mind. I'm not sure what to ask. I mean, if anyone in the comments wants me to ask a question, I can dang sure do it. I like that.
Jordy, are you still there? Jordy from Scotland. Jordy K, are you still there? You have a question for the divining rods? Or anyone out there has a question for the divining rods? I mean, I could start off by saying um, there seems to be a huge problem socially with modern day single men and women, where um, the feminist movement definitely sabotaged heterosexual relationships and made women bitter, and they actually hate men. Divining rods, do you see a turnaround of this trend? Because the women are complaining that they can't meet anybody. They're putting out videos left and right.
And okay, this is a hardcore yes when it faces my throat chakra, and I already kind of got like the message when it comes to feminism and the
When they do this, when they come together, when they cross, that's yes. When they go away from each other, that's no.
yes. And this is how I know that it is a very like, or this is how I know it's possible like an actual channel message from my gods, because usually they go the other way and they cross and it's a yes, but whenever they go towards me, it is I guess like a god coming through, and like a lot of because we had the women's rights and movement, but they made it too yin, like feminine energy. We could say like with the whole Charlie Kirk movement, that is like distorted masculine energy, especially with Erica Kirk. Even though they're trying to use like the return to traditionalism, and they make every like this whole
Well,
pervasive culture, like. But
well the
a lot of
yeah, the
a
fact.
lot of a lot of the women are tired of like the narcissistic abuse, and like us, like the good guys. I think it was like more like of a spell that we're still here, we're just hidden, and we're not going to be, because
Well, with the man hating feminist, there's too much yang energy.
and
Too
that
much.
too, especially like Andrew Tate or like the red pill. And it makes it so much harder. Even the dating apps are corrupted, and like even the bars here, it's so hard to meet people in a lot certain places. Like I mean, nobody really wants to get out there and dance or be social in certain areas. It's just we're so isolated, and that's more of a thing. It could be social media, but I feel like that is trying to shift, like 2026.
Yeah, but the thing with the divining rods and the pendulum is you have to you have to ask uh, one question, and it's got to be a direct question. You can't give it too much information. You got to ask one question at a time, wait for the response, and also if you want to pinpoint and get more detail with your question, you have to break the question down into like sub questions. So,
Yeah,
so you get closer and closer and closer in detail to the answer.
but I do feel like, yeah, whenever it does like point towards me, that it wants me to talk, because it's like right at my throat, and that's kind of what I was going off as like what they were trying to tell me. That makes sense. That's what I've noticed, and
Now,
now they're kind of coming towards that's a yes that I was actually doing what I was supposed. Yeah, see, typically this would be like a yes.
I like your divining rods because number one, you told me they're pure copper,
Yes.
and number two, they're long. I like the long ones.
Yeah, and see, that's why, like, I guess I kind of do the vining rods differently, and I have like a lot of copper right here. This is pyrite, and then I have just quartz, and it's a copper all around my neck, and so it just kind of just tells me things. I don't know how I do it. I can't. It just defies logic, I guess. But like, it just holding this, and this is like an antenna. You know how like praying mantises, they're
Yeah,
actually, the spiritually, they're actually very in tune because they're they operate kind of like these dowsing rods, and I feel like I do channel like a lot of etheric energy whenever I do hold them alone. That's why like we can ask a yes or no question, and it'll easily go that way.
yeah.
It just I can kind of feel it just kind of moving around like this.
Yeah, because gold and copper are outstanding conductive of
Oh
energy,
yeah,
electromagnetic energy, or any electricity. They're outstanding
yes,
conductors. Now, you notice a praying mantis and an African chameleon, they have the same physical behavior when they're on a branch.
yes,
They bob, they slowly bob from side to side. like they mimic the motion of leaves. So it's part of their camouflage. It's part of the and they use stealth. They slowly creep up
Yes.
on their prey, slowly get closer, slowly get closer. They use stealth, and it's amazing how they adapt to that.
And speaking of that, because I've had dreams like of a talking Black Panther, and like I've dreamt a lot of like cats, but that's definitely that kind of one of my spirit animals is like a cat, you know, because they actually do you know that they had that same energy as the praying mantis and the chameleons and the way they move. I'm very playful, like when it comes to like work or just being funny, because that's why people kind of relate to me. You know, no one knows I'm spiritual at work. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I just got
cats are very magical, mystical creatures. The
yes,
same thing probably with ravens and
yeah.
owls.
It's
Um,
funny
um,
because when I was in living in Boulder, like I was homeless, like I was like 19 or whatever, just by choice, you know, because I just wanted to explore the world back then, you know. But I kind of reached out, and I was, you know, living in the foothills, right? Like I went to sleep. I was like, I want to meet my spirit animal, and it was a raven. You know, I love crystals as well because I like to collect shiny things. And I went to this one shelter that was like, you know, a youth shelter. Right? You have to be like, I think, under 25 or whatever. But they happened to ask what my spirit guide was, you know, just randomly. And Boulder is a very spiritual place, or it was like in 2014. But I was like a raven, and
well,
like, oh, I can see that. It's
you
funny
know,
because I just
ravens and crows have the intelligence of a 7-year-old child.
yes,
They do,
definitely.
and they memorize faces and people and those that did them wrong. They don't
Oh
forget,
yeah,
But that's why if a crow uh, is trying to be friendly with you, I would feed it. I would give it
yeah.
good quality dog food, kibble or something. I would definitely feed it and get on its good side because they can bond very well.
Oh yeah.
Um,
But
ravens are fantastic creatures.
oh yeah.
But so yeah, I actually have a baby vinegaroon, which is a very common predatory arachnid in West Texas and New Mexico and Arizona. It's
Yep.
they're not venomous like a scorpion. They spray like a vinegar at their opponent, like acetic acid. But they have claws, pedipalps.
Oh
Fascinating.
wow.
Yeah, I
I
got.
wonder if I've seen some. Like when I've seen what I thought was a scorpion, but because
Well,
one of them.
if you take a walk at night, and you turn over things, because they might just be walking around. If you have like, especially if you have put a UV bulb outside where you live, um, you'll see them. They'll be all over the ground. You know.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll send you a photo of them so you can recognize them immediately.
All right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would love to get some adults. Now it's cold. You know what? They're hibernating now. Don't try to find them now. I think they're hibernating. It's way too cold.
Yeah, I'm sure I've seen
Yeah,
them. So you can start sending it to me.
yeah, yeah. Wait until it warms up in May, and then you'll see them.
All right.
You'll see that. You also have the Texas tan tarantula.
I've seen that. I remember like because I was with my sister who was 8 years older than me. And, you know, we were like still kind of like we were still like real young kids, and my uncle and everyone didn't believe me. Like, whoa, that is a spider, and I saw it from like a block and a half away, maybe I don't know, like
Yeah.
300 feet, and nobody's like, I don't see nothing. And I was like, no, look at that big old spider, and it was a tarantula. We took it home, but that's the only tarantula I've seen in Texas, and it was a huge one, like besides like my palm right here, or maybe
It's probably a female. Did it
yeah.
have a big rump or a little raisin rump?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. I just know it's brown and huge. Like, like at least it can fit like even in my palm, like or even over my, it's about this big, like my whole hand.
During mating season, hundreds of thousands of male um, Texas tan tarantulas, and also this species in Southern California, same family, Apopelma. They're out searching for females, but they're crossing all the highways and the roads. I mean, the males are pathetic. The males do not look anywhere nearly as impressive as the female, and they have a short lifespan. They only live like a few years, and their only purpose is to mate because they have a short lifespan, and also the female, after mating, the female kills the male and uses it for food for the babies, and,
Yep.
and the mantis does the same thing, but the sad thing about the mantis is it only lives for like 1 year. What a sad existence for a great creature.
I know. I love mantises so much, and it's so weird. They're so in tune with your energy because I've held some and just even brought some in my house.
I've held many full grown big mantises, and I just pick them up, I grab them, I hold them, I play with them. They're they might pinch you with their arms, but they won't hurt you.
Yeah.
But I've seen mantises actually stalk hummingbirds by a hummingbird feeder and catch hummingbirds in midair and actually eat them.
Wow. Wow, man. That's great. That's so crazy.
You go on YouTube and you type in mantis hunting hummingbirds or mantis eating a gecko lizard or something. Yeah, they're for insects that don't live long. And the funny part is they're in the cockroach family, but they're predatory. And there's another one, a katydid. It's a
Oh
huge,
yeah.
yeah,
We have a lot of them here.
predatory katydids. There's
Yep.
there's there's vegan katydids, and then there's the predatory ones.
Oh, walking sticks. We have a lot of them here, but they're so cool to see.
Yeah, walking sticks. Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Anyways, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna use the restroom. I'll,
yeah,
take
sure.
a minute or two.
Yeah, and I do more divining rods. All right. If anybody has any questions for the divining rods, come forth. And I'm going to wait for Andrew Cooper to return. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, you're getting sleepy now, huh? Who is that? Oh. Yeah. It's important to me also. Yeah, us is right. Hello. I'm live stream now. I don't know if the problem is still existing. Um, I don't know what happened when you tried to send me a message that time a while back. Oh, I'm just corresponding with people on Messenger. Anyway, there he is.
So I'm trying to think because I can also do like a, I guess, either pull some tarot cards and just kind of describe what the card is saying, and like its correlation to whatsoever. Like even tarot is like about Kabbalah and just like mysticism in general, you know. And
Oh, I got a question. Now listen to this. There are some people that have theories out there that UFO sightings are actually us earthlings from the distant future utilizing time travel. Uh, are these UFOs extra? Are they mostly extraterrestrials?
that's a yes.
Okay.
They're mostly extraterrestrials, but are the UAPs or the orbs I've seen in the sky, even recently or in my dreams, are they us in the future? Let's see where it's going. You might be right that they are extraterrestrials. Well, are they like our distant ancestors, the star people that we have been seeing? Yes. Okay, so they are our ancestors.
All right. Because I think that humans um, were some humans are star people from other galaxies, and they were. I don't know if the human race is just an extraterrestrial experiment, but
Yes.
our shadow people, um, the the physical mediums, the physical psychic mediums who can see and communicate with spirits, they say that shadow people are not demonic. Are they interdimensional creatures?
Are shadow people interdimensional creatures
I mean, beings.
or beings? Yep,
Beings.
that's a yes. And they can be. I think there a lot of them are good or bad, and it oftentimes like people if they're on like amphetamines or speed or even other drugs that they'll see them, you know, and that I feel like some of them are like vampiric spirits to they could be even discarnated humans who
Well,
used to be. Yeah, that's yes.
animals, dogs, cats, and young children can see these entities where
Yes.
we cannot. Okay, now, um, is there something special about a camera where they can photograph a spiritual being that we cannot see with the naked eye? Is there something about a camera that's special?
There's something about a camera that's special that picks up on ghosts or even interdimensional things, and that's a yes. Especially like with the moon, because the moon lately, like I've seen it on TikTok, and I saw like a halo around the moon on my birthday, you know,
Yeah.
and other things. But like it being a super moon, I feel like that was very spiritual. Like it could have been a different moon for all we know. And it looks like the astronauts are also saying yes, that it was a different moon or different frequencies, be it Nibiru or just like the crossing, the yeah, that's a yes. The like the you know, like the I guess what we would call what used to be hitting the veil or um like the real sun, because people thought used to even talk about there being a fake sun, but I think that or they're trying to like block out the frequencies of the sun that give us upgrades. And like I have you know with Solomon even saying that there's nothing new under the sun, and the Buddha even said that three things cannot be hidden for long: the sun, the moon, and the truth. And they're wanting to go yes to what I was saying, or that was an agreeable like that was a yes or no, but that I was channeling basically.
Yeah, because Amy Allen of the Dead Files, who's a physical medium, and also my German friend Mickey, who has lives on a ranch in southwestern Nevada near Area 51. She says that she's the one that said the shadow people are not demons. Now, divining rods are people who insist that the planet Earth is flat and that there is a dome of ice around the Earth and where no one has left it? Are these people out of their mind? Are they just crazy nuts?
It's given I can't answer that or a no. Well, is the Earth flat? That's a no. Is the Earth round? Or is the Earth like a torus field? That's my theory. Like the North and South Pole, is that they don't ever lie, like, but they don't ever tell the exact truth. That's a yes.
Yeah.
So it's more of a torus truth.
No, it's a sphere. It's a sphere.
Yeah.
They don't believe those fucking knuckleheads that say the
Yeah.
Earth is like a frisbee. It's just flat. No, and there's
I
no
think-
dome. There's no ice dome. You know, the space probes that went and traveled all the way to Pluto and Uranus and Neptune and all those planets. They were real space probes. A certain someone that we know says that nothing has traveled through space, that it's all God just put images of fake planets up there. No, these people are nuts.
Yeah, I do feel like it is kind of a torus field, like to the North and South Pole, but it's kind of like similar to like our auric field. You know, if that makes sense. Like that we have around us. And I said yes. So it is basically round, is what they're saying. But there is like a torus field, or if anything, the inner Earth, like the North Pole and the South Pole. We can't go to the South Pole, but okay, it's going towards me. It could be like an entrance. If anything, I've always believed that there. I mean, it's more, I guess, very acceptable. Like with the ultra-terrestrials, is there might be a lot of stuff at the North Pole, and even Antarctica had a lot of things like with ancient tech or pyramids.
Divining rods. Is there really some kind of intergalactic extraterrestrial base in Antarctica?
Is there a intergalactic base in Antarctica? It almost I was saying, okay, is there intergalactic base in Antarctica or?
You got to keep the questions like you can't throw too much info when you're doing a pendulum or a divining rod. You get.
Is there a alien base in Antarctica?
Yeah, because you don't want to confuse it.
Is there an intergalactic base in Antarctica? Or is there a base in Antarctica of aliens? It's going towards yes. Because Antarctica used to be a jungle. That's the way, yes.
It used to be lush. Well, the poles were.
Poles
were not where they are now.
And okay, the are the beings with the elongated heads from Antarctica and Mars? That's a yes. Like I don't know if you guys have heard of like the elongated heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they are from Mars. Yes, that's a yes. That's a okay. But they are the ones who came from Mars because it most likely got destroyed, and who were like, well, with people saying claiming they're kings, having a divine right, and that
Well, Mars is not perfectly round. Mars is a little lopsided, almost like it was hit by an asteroid at once. That and they feel, the theory is that that's how they lost their atmosphere.
Yeah, so they're coming through nuclear war. There's also Maldek, or like the asteroid belt to where Mars and the Martians and Maldek, or even Tiamat. Yep, that's a yes. Were at war with each other, and then they went back to Earth, and that's where we get the elites, and that's Elon most likely is connected. The Elohim. So yes, Elon is definitely connected to these beings and a lot of ET races who want humanity to be stuck and not ascend.
The Pleiades star cluster is where many of these extraterrestrials that visited Earth for thousands of years supposedly came from. The Pleiades
yes
star cluster now they have seen some archaeological ruins on Mars that they're not, the mainstream media is not really talking about it. You know, only the underground media online
Yes.
will show you images of them.
Yes, and that's what I'm because that's the first thing I saw that I was so intrigued about. A little bit of Orion, because Orion has so much history with the entire galaxy, but especially Earth. But the Pleiades, I was just in awe with it as a kid. And like, I used to love NASA and just like space, like being a kid, because I feel like I'm definitely connected to Pleiades because I thought that was a Little Dipper, but well, it's not. But I know how to find that like easily,
Yeah,
shoot with a telescope,
I
and
I have a very nice photo. It might be from the James Webb Telescope of the Pleiades star cluster. I'll send that to you also, along with the giant vinegaroons. But yeah, so now Pluto, they thought Pluto was dead. No, Pluto has activity in its core. There's molten activity going on in Pluto. It's I remember when they demoted Pluto from planetary status to just being like a rock.
I wonder if it is because of Pluto being in Aquarius, or like it is in Aquarius now, and they wanted to demote it because that can affect that human consciousness.
No, the ruling planet for Aquarius is Uranus.
Yes, but Pluto. What I meant is Pluto is in Aquarius right now, and that's very revolutionary. Like
Oh, oh, you mean astrologically? Okay, I got
yes, yeah,
you. I got you.
and yeah, and
I think
well,
Neptune
typically,
is pretty.
or yeah,
Yeah.
um, but what is it? Saturn is ruled by Aquarius, in Capricorn. Like that's the other, like the older astrology. Where both are true. What I'm saying,
Well,
'cause
Saturn is Capricorn. Capricorn's ruling planet is Saturn.
yes, but I think it's like Hellenic or Greek astrology. Back before when they had only had seven planets. Not only had Saturn, we didn't know about Uranus, Neptune, or Pluto.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, because there's two different types of Western astrology, if that makes sense. Like to where
Yeah,
once they found, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto.
like the Mars is the Roman god of war.
Yep.
Mars. Jupiter was like Zeus to the Romans,
Yes.
the king of all the gods. It was Jupiter. Um, that was it. The Mercury was from Greek mythology. Um,
Hermes.
Venus, of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Saturn is also Chronos, and it's interesting because like when you clock in at work, a lot of the time system they use is called Chronos, and like at my work, we have a time matrix. Like say like on the work order, whatever we're working on, we're supposed to clock in and clock out, so they can say how long it took for us to do it. Like say like, well, I mean, I manufacture wind turbines, and I'm a Sam Dasher doing that, so it takes us like for about 3 to 5 hours, usually about 4 hours, depending on how long it is or what it is.
Yeah. Now the moon that has the most lively activity would be Europa, right? One of the moons of Jupiter, Europa.
Mhm.
Now I have a question for the divining rods, because there is another conspiracy theory. Are there vast oceans in
Europa.
the interior of the planet Earth that contain more water than the oceans on the surface? Is this true?
Yes, that is true. And there's this. It's 2024, but is there a ocean under the ocean that is of higher density where we get like beings of Sirius from? That's a yes. I don't know if you guys have heard
Yeah.
that there's a submarine that went to the ocean and it saw like some really amazing blue water, but it was of a higher density, and it was like the submarine couldn't go through this ocean under the ocean. That's still a yes. So there is an ocean under the ocean. So
Yeah,
like it is
because the Earth is not really that big compared to, I mean, like the size of some of the exoplanets are supposedly in the Goldilocks zone are bigger than Earth. Some of the planets
yeah.
that were discovered. And the Goldilocks zone meaning just the right distance from a star, not too
Yeah.
close, not too distant, just the right distance to support life.
And it is likely because a lot of like the UFOs or even like the light orbs have come from under the ocean. And I believe they can come from up above and below. That's a yes. You know, that's how like portals, like the movie Stargate, SG-1, etc. Is they had the Stargate, which they found like through an ancient, you know, whatever, uh, and it looked like an ocean. They would travel through like the Stargates, which I believe is a reason for the Middle East war. And that's a yes. It's been saying them yes.
Oh, is the reason why there's so much chaos going on in the world and so much evil? Is it because portals were open that were never closed?
Yes. I mean, I can tell you about like, especially like in certain places that always have war, like the Middle East, is because there is like a lot of like these creator beings, like ancient, think maybe Lemuria, who came in their etheric form, and you know even their thoughts, with us, them just being here, created so many different timelines, just because they're like almost like kids are, and just think and that's where these portals are because where the original star beings came through these portals and they're definitely in the Grand Canyon and
So
Arizona.
do we get a hard yes on that
Yes, I was kind of
about the portals?
channeling
And
because yeah,
there were portals. Were there portals open by foolishly and mistakenly, not mistakenly, foolishly and irresponsibly open portals by people dabbling in the occult, whether they be famous or not?
is this mostly dealing with Aleister Crowley,
No,
Jack Parsons?
let's wait for the response.
Well, it was already going to be a yes. I already knew it was a yes. Like I mean, I know like you're supposed to wait on them, but I'm kind of connecting and what I've kind of dabbled into as far as the knowledge that there are some portals in the Southwest.
Well, you ask questions then. You know,
Are are,
it
are
like
there port-
yeah.
Are there portals in the Southwest opened by dark occultists?
There you go.
Yeah, that's a yes, because that's kind of what I was going off. But like, I kind of they're going to confirm that what I know is true because like
Yeah, because some of the yeses are indecisive. It rocks back and forth, and some are whammo. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Hard yet.
trying to think. Is because there is I don't know. Well, it's going to give me a yes. Is Trump connected to like a archetype similar to Hitler and the Wotan? That's a yes.
Is Donald Trump a puppet of the New World Order oligarchy?
Is Donald Trump a puppet of the New World oligarchy? Oh yeah, that's one fast.
Okay, is this evil oligarchy synonymous with the Zionists?
Is this evil archy synonymous with the Zionists of Israel?
Well, they're not. The Zionists are not the original Israelites. It's like a cult.
Yes, and if anything, it could be like every single you know, because they, you know, in the Bible they talk about the Israelites being all across the world. They could be you know, every different color. They could be me and you know, but it's more people who are tapped in, and we had like a covenant to help like humanity heal. If that makes sense.
It's an Eastern European um, um, cult oligarch.
Is Israel the state, the Zionist state of Israel? Is it a remnant of the Roman Empire?
Well, Israel, it was only created in 1948, and Jacob Rothschild took credit for being instrumental in the creation of Israel. But before that, there was no country called Israel.
Yes, Israel is the Roman Empire. I believe they separated, like the Vatican is also the Roman Empire. Maybe DC, it being a city state, is also like they it went divided by four, and even according to Revelations, it is
Well,
going to unite.
Great Britain. The United Kingdom and the United States are modern day descendants of Ephraim and Manasseh, two of
Yeah, yeah,
two of the cursed tribes of Israel.
and
Cursed. That are,
and okay,
that
you
is
know, John Dee was like the court astrologer and scryer to Queen Elizabeth back whenever the Spanish Empire was a thing. He was able to scry and defeat the Spanish Armada, who was superior, by leading them into a storm. And it's going towards me. So that wants me to speak about John Dee and how he was also correlated with Joseph Smith. They were talking to the same entities who he thought was the Watchers, who may have not been the Watchers, because he ended up going on a wild goose chase with um talking about, like, and even saying that a lot of, like, certain, like, people of the Roman Empire and certain kings he was saying were basically being blasphemous in the time of when saying so, or even admitting to sorcery or necromancy was punishable by death. But he was definitely used by these entities who claimed to be the Watchers of Enoch.
Washes of Enoch. Yeah, the one of the books that the Catholic Church or the early the whatever was left of the Roman Empire, what was it, Simon Magus and Emperor
Yes.
Constantine, that
Oh,
well,
yes.
they
And
they they blended pagan holidays and celebrations with the early Christians. They kind of put them together, but they
that's,
didn't. The Bible was already made prior to those two. They just, I think, they just embraced the early Christianity and combined it with Roman paganism.
yeah,
But Peter, the reason why the Vatican Cathedral is called Saint Peter's is because Peter was the first pope. From the Apostle Peter was really the first pope, and the birth of Christianity is
yes.
the Vatican.
And well, to just say what my doubt, yeah, okay. They were saying they really liked what you were saying right there, and it was like absolute truth because they were pointing at me. But I wanted to ask them a question: was Mary Magdalene supposed to be the true pope and leader of Christianity and or mystical Christianity? That's a yes right here. So it was supposed to be Mary Magdalene, but Peter may have usurped the throne, and when Mary Magdalene was the rock.
You know that Mary Magdalene, um, there was a gospel of Mary Magdalene that was rejected uh,
Yes,
to the Bible, maybe because she's a woman and because
yes,
of her background. But you know what? All of the disciples were screw ups in their personal
yes.
life.
In a
So
way, I kind of am too. Well, not really, but
you
I
know,
was when I was younger.
so to condemn Mary Magdalene for what she originally did and the fact that she's female and not male, she was like the most beloved actually of all the disciples. I mean, her and Jesus. Jesus had no issue with Mary Magdalene. I mean,
Yeah,
she was the first to go to the tomb and notice that he wasn't in there. That he was, and she was the first to see him after he was resurrected.
absolutely. And
Yeah. So for them to reject the book of Mary Magdalene, could you imagine? You imagine the information that's in that?
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what I'm on TikTok, as I've noticed, is that the people who like my content or like understand it, because some people just don't, or they don't, uh, who follow me, but it's mostly the women who get exactly what I'm saying, and they said that they appreciate me so much because they're more tapped into source, like people who are women who are spiritually aligned, do know understand, like, I guess the solar teachings, or like, because I work with the sun, like I'm very like solar based, I guess, like that's where I get my downloads a lot of times, like, and not, I know everyone else for the most part the humans think I'm crazy, but then we got like the narcissists who could be demons in human forms, or even what people call reptilians, so to speak, but they know who we are. And a lot of times they'll try to, say, oh, because that's what happened to my best friend. He tried to say I had some sort of mental illness when I was going through like an awakening and a little bit of psychosis, sure, but that's what made me, that 2 years ago, realize to have a purpose and to have to actually speak on it and make a TikTok or whatever, or just share my knowledge and wisdom that I knew I had to keep secret for a while until I was called. Okay, that's a yes.
Oh,
It's funny, like my relationship with these divining rods is, I guess it's like or non-conventional, to where like it just they kind of work with me besides the yes or no questions. And okay, yep, but they have their mind of their own because, like I said, it's etheric energy that you can easily more access just holding them, regardless if you ask a yes or no question. You know, it just makes it easier to utilize my throat chakra. Oh, that's a yes.
well, well, you gotta love copper, and because
I
it responds fast.
Yep. See, it's saying yes to copper. You got to love copper, but it's been saying yes like this whole, what I was saying about how I am channeling the etheric energy of my gods. Yep. Hello, hello. I love when they do this when one points towards me, because you're like, keep speaking. This is how, this is what they're trying to tell me right now, is because one's pointing at me is that they want me to speak. It's weird how it works and how I just know it. Because I trust my intuition more so than my tools. So I don't really need the tools, but when I use them, it just like, like bam, 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 bam on point. Yep.
Well, um, hmm, um, I'm trying to think. The only thing pure copper that I have is a Moscow Mule mug for the drink called Moscow Mule.
I'll show you something.
That's I have the dimpled mug. That's pure copper, and many of them were a blend. It took me a long time to find this one. To find a pure copper mug. Oh, there you go.
This was
That's co-
it.
that's pure copper.
Yes. You can see the inside of it here.
Oh.
I got this at an antique store, like for $10. So I mean, they used to use a lot of copper, like in the pipes.
I'm gonna tell you something. This famous yogi of Ayurveda medicine um, and yogi, from India. He's famous. I can't pronounce his name, but he put out a lot of videos online. If I see him, I'll send you one of his videos. He said that drinking your water, your filtered or spring water from a copper vessel, a copper anything, it changes the molecules in the water and turns it into a super health drink.
Yep.
There's something about the copper, what it does to the drinking water.
Yes.
So if you take that, wash it, and keep your drinking water in that mug in the refrigerator, because it retains the cold very nicely.
Yes.
If you keep that in there, it becomes a health drink.
It definitely does. I'd have to add shungite and quartz, but I'm gonna be right back. Give me a couple minutes. We'll
Yeah,
use the
sure.
restroom.
Oh, oh well. Maybe I'll play a little dating game theme song. Let's see, a little holiday music. There's no place like home for the holidays.
Right. All right, just give me one more minute. I'm gonna make a drink real quick.
All right. There's no place like home for the holidays. No place like home for the holidays. But anyway,
What is that called? Because it reminds me of like the Mongolian throat singing, which I can actually do. I mean, I want to do it right now,
oh,
but
a jaw harp. But you know
Jaw
what? I've had them. I've had cheap ones. This one I got from Amazon. Same thing with my metallic kazoo. Hey, what happened?
oh, I'm good. I moved my mic.
No, something happened. Something happened, and the screen like vanished.
I can still see. I can still see my
Oh, okay.
screen.
Yeah, I got them from Amazon. This is a metallic kazoo. It has a replaceable diaphragm in it, and not the contraceptive diaphragm. And this is from Austria. This is the best, loudest jaw harp that I've ever had. It's fabulous.
No,
Plus I got bellhop.
I have a. It's like a Tibet.
That's a nice one.
It's a Tibetan mastiff.
Oh, that's
Because it
pretty.
does that kind of folk sound. Yeah, you can just.
I got a Himalayan singing bowl inside by my altar. By my
Yeah,
mysticism
I like
bowl.
that because it's like a singing bowl, like a Tibetan singing bowl. I mean, it has like a rather like a bell, that a lot of like people use who are witches, which is nice. It does clear like the actual atmosphere.
Well, the witches' bells, and any type of gong, any. Where'd he go?
Yeah, I was trying to find mine.
certain frequencies are hated by evil spirits. That's the purpose of the witches' bells. You know, and I guess that's the same purpose as church bells.
Yes, because there's that whole theory that like a lot of like these ancient cathedrals were actually made by like an empire, you know, I mean, but it was that kind of washed out of history that they called it that Tartaria, and that's I like that, you know, theory, and like I do have a lot of where I'm at, like basically cathedrals that are real pretty, you know, even though I think one is Episcopal, and given where I'm at, like they have the most churches per capita, so to speak, and they're more, I guess, of the religious
I
zealots, so to speak.
I love Gothic cathedrals, especially
Yes.
the one in Cologne, Germany, the world's largest one. It's
Yeah.
incredible, and but the frequency, you know, when you're around really positive people of high quality, they exist at a higher frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, um, where the Earth is supposedly evolving from 3 dimension to 5 dimension, but not everybody is ready to evolve into that
Yes.
higher frequency.
And it's like it's kind of ready or not. What I've been kind of picking up on, like with the Diddy documentary, and the whole political, because like what I believe is like the especially with Donald Trump being a reality TV star, is like the politicians, well, the major ones, not necessarily like state or local, but some state maybe, you know, is that they are like cousins, like because even like in New York, a lot of like the lawyers actually defend people in California who are celebrities, you know, and even like with our friend, our mutual friend Paul, he it kind of ties into that because it just kind of makes sense with this conspiracy and why like I was targeted and like well Jesus or Yeshua was targeted, and how like musicians are healers, even though like with the music industry, if they sign that record label or that they deal with Diddy, who was like a destiny swapper, like the literal like energy vampire, he would like get rich off the success of the artist that he would hire. And that's that I could talk so much about that. I could pull cards on that, and it gets so wild and out there. It's outrageous, especially like with Hollywood being like the a wand and it being like able to deceive, pacify people, which is what's happened like with the whole TV screen. It's all like a black straw mirror. It is pretty much like magic, which is prevalent in a lot of music videos, and it's wild like how it gets. If you're aware of it, because I like 90s music, then you're able to get out of like I guess the programming or whatever, because that's the thing about magic is it needs your consent
You
for it
know,
to work.
what's very therapeutic music is like the new age kind of music, like
Yeah.
Frangelis and Tangerine Dream. You know, if you ever listen to them, it's unbelievably like therapeutic. Maybe it's just the frequency of it. Um,
Yeah. And I believe that about like EDM or raves is like at first like it was good, like it uplifted everybody, but it can also like I guess harvest the energy because even the Pope did like a whole rave, which is kind of suspicious that he did that. You know what I mean? Like just it's just I don't know. But it could originally like some like the underground ravers, especially like in the '90s, they were like it was kind of a spiritual thing because a lot of them would be resonate with us, and like the whole peace, love, unity, respect, it's gone now. It's more corporate, but it used to be like that's why they had to get you know utilized, and even MDMA can have therapeutic benefits.
yeah, but what I do is like um, before I start a ritual at the altar, because I have a two-level combination altar. I have mysticism on the first level, and I have like a Gothic Christianity on the second level.
Oh, wow.
Gothic style, because I have my gargoyle collection there. So what I
Right.
do is I hit this Himalayan singing bowl 7 times because of how special the number 7 is.
Yes.
I whack it hard 7 times and it penetrates. I mean, it's like frequency is incredible. I like that. I like that, Bill.
Yeah. I mean, the frequency, like, if you were like, I guess, physically present with me, man.
I wonder if you tied that to let me think. You know, in the springtime, if you go to the Dollar Tree, they sell the bamboo wind chimes, and
Yeah.
I got one on my kitchen window where the breeze is coming from the north, and when I'm not using the air conditioner and the wind is open, it blows and I hear it. If you could tie that to something that where you could hear that ring anytime there's a breeze coming in, that'll be nice.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna wrap it up, and it was a great show. It was very unique and different, and it was good. It was good.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, we have to save some questions. If you ever think of any interesting, hard hitting questions, put it in your phone, save them, and
Yes.
yeah, for the divining rods for next time.
Yeah, definitely. Because sometimes it flows that the questions come to me, but like we can get there. Where I think like the more we do it, the more they'll be like receptive to like I'll get questions, you'll get questions, and then even the audience or etc. But like the more
Yeah,
we do it, the more because I haven't used them in a while. I've been wanting to use them so bad, you know. And what I will do, I'll send you the video, probably add it to like the mysticism chat, you know. But I want to use this towel. This is like the towel oracle, like the towel.
oh, you got the different deck. That's the oracle
Yeah.
deck.
Yes, I don't know if it's at the towel. It's called the towel oracle, or I think it's connected to the watching. Like it has like the symbols, you know, like right here of the
Oh,
a
it's,
Chinese,
it's Asian, Chinese Taoism. Yeah.
Yes, actually, yeah, this is the watching because it's smart. It's beautiful. Number 62 because it has. You see that is the watching right there. The what do they call that? You know?
Oh, the I Ching. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just a
That's
unique way.
that's the hexagram. The I Ching is made up
Yeah.
of 6 hexagram lines. It's a grid. It's called It's called the I Ching hexagram grid,
Mm.
and it's made of 6 hexagram. Like I'll show you the coins that I use another time.
Yeah.
Actually, that might not be a bad idea. Is to do the I Ching forecast for you.
Yeah, if you want to do it now, just I guess in the video, if it just doesn't go right, I don't know. I can kind of take my time on it, but if you want to do it right now, I can. It's just I don't know how long it'll take because given it being the Tao Te Ching, I'm gonna have to read out of the Oracle.
Nah, it'll take a while. Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
maybe 15, maybe 10 minutes. I don't know.
next time. No, we'll save it for next time.
Okay, yeah,
The I Ching. What I do is I take 3 of these replica ancient Chinese feng shui coins.
yeah,
Each one has a square hole in the middle, and there's a yin side and a yang side, and there's certain Chinese characters on both sides. And what I do is I shake it and toss it, and in this case, I tell the open AI how many yangs are in the throw and how many yins are in the throw. It could be 2 yin, 1 yang. It could be 3 yins. It could be 3 yangs. It could be any number. And then each throw, depending on how many yins and yangs show up when I toss it, forms one line of the hexagram. and I do it 6 times. So in order to form the I Ching hexagram, which is 6, you have to throw it 6 times, and then it forms a grid. And then from that grid, the forecast is done,
Yeah.
is conducted. Now, I also did numerology. Now, numerology based on your name and the week or the month you want the forecast to be for. It's the numerology forecast. So what we do is next time, instead of tarot astrology, we can do I Ching. We can do numerology and I Ching.
Yeah.
Just to switch things up.
I was gonna. I'll show you. Like I mean, I have all these decks. I mean, this is even.
Oh wow!
This is, yeah.
Those
Because
those are all decks, really?
yeah, it's like it's mostly Oracle. And there's a couple of tarot decks, but like I have like a whole like bookshelf field of them and books to it as well.
You have the Thoth. You have the Thoth deck.
Actually, yes, it's like a
Yeah,
miniature.
the Egyptian.
Um,
Yeah.
and okay, it's called the Heaven and Earth Tarot deck, and I like it because like whenever remember the Seven of Cups, that's like illusionary success, but like from the Thoth deck. But this one is more like occult based, like the Heaven and Earth Tarot deck. I can't remember who it's by. He has like a runic Nordic deck as well, but
The Rider Waite deck, which is in English. I'm not excited over the designs of anything English, but they come in 2 styles. The Rider, there's an elaborate, if you want to call it that. There's a more elaborate Rider Waite style. You know who has the 2 styles? Damian Owens. I gotta get. I'll get the name of it
yeah,
from me because he's got a bunch of decks too.
yeah. And one of my favorites is like the Witch's Tarot and the Wizard's Tarot, and it's based on the Rider Waite, but that's very like amusing. Like what do you
Gypsy.
call it? It has very amusing pictures that are like based off like like witchy stuff. Like even the Green Witch Tarot as well. And I have so many that but like I like the Wizard's Tarot the most because it's based off of like uh a lot of like magicians, like even like not necessarily Harry Potter, but like the show The Magicians, which is also based off of a book. It's mostly based off that, but like wizardry basically. Witches is kind of just more of a witchy telling, and even like I think the Five of Swords has like a dragonfly on it, so it's a little bit different, like in a minor arcana, but it's very just.
How do you interpret all these exotic decks? Like, where do you find the interpretation to them? Does it come with a pamphlet of generalized meanings, or
Basically, I like Oracle decks because I don't even need the paper. But with tarot, it just is kind of more needed. But like I just pulled like this is the Eight of Wands, and it just is pretty much the same thing. Has like this is the Robin Hood deck. It's more like a pagan deck, and it doesn't. It's kind of the same thing. Like I'll try to pull another card. Okay, one just fell. But see, this is the Six of Pentacles, and it's about that kind of being in a state of abundance and to where you're able to give and receive and being like kind of in the middle of where you're not worried, you're not in survival mode, and that's kind of what I just intuitively picked up upon. You know what I mean? To where you're just kind of going with the flow of money or the earth element, and you're not
I know, I
being.
know, I know that the basics of the minor arcana. The pentacles represent finances. The
Yeah,
swords represent taking action with something. Cups is emotion,
emotional.
love,
Yeah.
romance. Cups, and then there's the wands, which is more like creativity. Um,
Yes, wands is desire too. I just pulled the wands at the page of wands.
and aces represent a new beginning of whatever suit they happen to be.
Yes, and it's kind of like a gift from the heavens, and it's like it also likes to deal a lot with like Kabbalah as well. the 1 to 10, like the Kabbalah tree of life and how it relates.
Well, the Kabbalah is so deep that
Yes.
most rabbis don't want to get involved with it. It's from King Solomon,
Yeah.
the
I
original.
got the mystical Kabbalah about Dion Fortune, who was very, she actually was able, there's like the magical war of Britain in World War II, but I mean, World War II was a magical war, and they were actually hiring occultists and magical practitioners, and that's why like the peace sign or the V sign was used by Britain, while the Nazi sign was also used, even though it's a very ancient symbol and it wasn't supposed to be. It's a symbol of peace, and they turned it into a symbol of hate, and they inverted it because it's actually what I think is it. I think it's what the Big Dipper does. Like
Well, it's a rotary. It's a rotary. It's a site. It represents, I guess, a secular motion, a never-ending cycle. It's an ancient symbol that is from different cultures. India had a swastika. I think Southeast Asia had their version. It's kind of like a worldwide ancient symbol that has
yeah.
nothing to do with hate,
Mm-hmm.
or had nothing to do with what Nazi Germany was.
Yes, it just they understood because Hitler wasn't an occultist. Like he actually the secret doctrine by Helena Blavatsky. He actually slept with it because they talk about the common race, and they talk about the Aryan race, which was based out of what Iran, even India, and he saw like I guess the white supremacy aspect of it. That's what he interpreted.
Yeah,
So
but
it's,
he wasn't Aryan. He was short and he had like black hair.
yeah,
Like
and
he
allegedly.
wasn't Aryan
Yeah, allegedly he might have even been a Jew, like I
at
don't know if that's
all.
true, but it's just that it was kind of like basically, the bankers, like even Toyota, like a lot of like American companies were actually making supporting the war, like the manufacturers were like Toyota or like they were making like the engines for the tanks or whatever. That's just an example, because we were already using the war to get out of the Great Depression, even though we weren't directly involved until Pearl Harbor.
Yeah. Well, Germany. It's there's a long story before the Third Reich took over, and they
Yeah.
had the Germans had their deep uh, recession and then depression, and their economy was in shambles,
Hmm.
and the I've heard many stories where um, the big banks um, at that time were run by Jews, and they really screwed over Germany. And I don't know. I hear a lot of things. They won't
Yeah.
hire Gentiles. The businesses in Germany
It's
won't
just
hire.
they kind of got, I guess, um,
Yeah, they built up a lot of resentment. And, uh,
yeah,
then there's another rumor that Adolf Hitler was very close to his mother. When his mother died of cancer, her doctor was a Jew, and he might have had resentment from that. So,
yeah. Apparently, that doctor told his mother that you need to abort this guy. Like,
well, he was on a lot of drugs.
and that too.
Hitler's doctor had him on a lot of different drugs.
But he was also like an initiate into like the mystical path or like the occult. And
Oh
like it's
yeah,
not that the occult is bad, it's just that you can fall or get corrupted by other people or powers. But there's so many different German secret societies. Some were in on it, some were neutral, and that's where you get like a Maria Orsic and how she actually through a seance was able to allegedly, get like a blueprint for like the bells or like this like it's
yeah,
like a UFO like free
yeah.
energy
They did reverse engineering of a UFO crash, extraterrestrial
through a
crash.
seance. Like that's like literally like they had this so one person be a psychic medium channel the dead or they say they're from like the what is it the Aldebaran not all but the Taurus system, like that red giant, what is it called? Like, it starts with an A, like Alderaan. No, not Alderaan. That's Star Wars. But Aldebaran, I think.
Audubon.
Aldebaran, yeah.
You know, German scientists were second to none. You know, they were like the elite as far as science,
Yes,
and
because that's where we got.
the Soviet Union. They try to get as many German scientists as possible after the war, but the United States, I think, got the best of them. You know, like Werner von Braun and
Yep,
others.
Operation Paperclip, and if you can look it up, it's called Camp Barkley. Nowadays, it's actually Dulles Air Force Base. We had like the B-1B bombers. That's where I live. Like I'm like 3 or 4 miles from the base. Like you know what I mean. And
Well,
allegedly,
he was the father of NASA, Werner von Braun.
yeah. But back to that Camp Barkley, this is like a local camp. They used to house like Nazi prisoners of war, and allegedly they escaped. This is all in like the Texas history, like like the historical marker we have in Texas, to where a lot of Nazis escaped from this Nazi POW camp next to Dulles Air Force Base, which like I said, is about the B-1B bombers. They're actually wanted to house like a B-21 Raiders, which is like an advanced version of the B-2 bomber. But we have stealth bombers where I'm at, and that is wild. Like, did they escape? You know what I mean? Because we have Operation Paperclip to where all the Nazis were here, but the fact that they escaped from this imprisonment camp and it became an Air Force base, a very major one here in the USA or Texas as well, it's wild. It's about pattern recognition. It's kind of, I guess, me being ADHD, neurodivergent, whatever.
Well,
And I have no proof that this is what happened, but it's like, whoa, like there were POWs here from Nazi Germany who escaped and were sleeping on a park bench in downtown Abilene, which is a very small town, but it's still like not a. It's in between a city and a small town, so to speak.
Well, what I felt bad about was horrible is the Japanese Americans were put into concentration camps by, I think, FDR. That's horrible.
Yeah.
And of course, Harry Truman dropping the 2 atomic bombs, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, killing innocent civilians, innocent civilians, children, women, old people. I mean, come on, give me a break.
And that is like, because you know how they said that we awaken the sleeping giant, and even that quote by the Japanese is there will be like a hunter or a sniper rifle hiding between every blade that attacked America.
I would have done like an embargo, like don't allow any supplies to get to Japan. Just choke it off, but not drop atomic bombs.
Yeah, but they were saying that they knew that Japan was attacking, and they wanted it to like they could have stopped it. They saw that the airplane's coming, the bomber's coming, and they're like, no, let it happen, because that's how America is. We know, but it was kind of a false flag. It's like, let's get into war, but we were already in the war because like economically we were building and selling the weaponry, or like even the engines, you know what I'm saying, for like because I think the airplanes and whatnot.
Well, Mitsubishi Motors built the Japanese Zero planes, but Japan had jets towards the end of the war, hidden in caves, I hear. And of course, Germany had the jet aircraft, the Messerschmitt, jets, and they were very close, and very close to the atomic bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's a troll, the first and last troll of the evening, because I'm going to shut it down. Tarot Destroyer, what is it? 666. My boyfriend's testicles were bitten off by a camel recently. Should I marry him when he wakes up from his coma, or marry his identical twin brother whose testicles are in pretty good shape? I would say that all depends on whether or not you really love the boyfriend who lost his testicles.
Yes, apparently Ace of Cups says you do, but I don't know if you don't have tarot readers, given your username being Terror Destroyer 666, and they're trying to make fun of those who are
No,
cheating.
what this person is doing is trying to troll the theme of our show
Yeah, that's
being
what I think. But the Ace of Cups means that
yeah, they're mocking our show.
yeah.
It's a troll who has no life.
But
And
you should marry him, because I mean y'all look like y'all are losers, but that's what you need.
anyway, a farmer looks at his wife's saggy boobs and says with disgust, "Those things, those things worked. I wouldn't need a cow. If
Or
those things work, I wouldn't need a cow." And so uh, she looks at his crotch and says, "If that thing worked, I wouldn't need your brother."
oh, okay, that's kind of funny. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. So
maybe
we
you have
have
a
a comedian.
comedian.
We have a comedian trolling the show. How about that?
Yeah,
Well, listen, I'm gonna bang it up. I got to take my nighttime nutritional supplements and maybe watch a spooky movie or something. So thank you, Andrew
yeah. Thank you,
Cooper.
James.
Let's do it again.
Yes,
You notice that we have no drama,
yes.
or a little humor at the end.
Yeah, and that's funny because I can get into humor, just like I don't know, but we can go so many ways with the show, and I'm getting better at my I guess timing because I was kind of struggling. I think a few times he tried to invite me, and I just like I was sleeping till like 5, 7, 8, p.m. and then he messaged me. But now like I wake up at 3 p.m. Just working nights kind of sucks. But
do you have a lot of glare from light pollution where you live? Like if you had binoculars, okay, that can take video, or if you had like a camera like Paul has with the telephoto lens, the digital camera, telephoto lens, and you saw something in the sky, an anomaly of some sorts, or maybe a UFO sighting, do you have like really clear starry nights where you are, or
um,
is there a lot of glare?
it's a little bit of glare. I have seen UAPs, but it's like a city of 130,000. But like if you go like 10, 20 miles, you can get a good view because like I go, there's this picnic area and I think it's like a minimum of 20, 15 miles. I don't know. It's like 10 to 20 miles, but it's kind of in the hills. So it kind of gives, I guess it's able to get out. It's like I think they're maybe like 500 feet hills. They're not like big hills, but like you get a good view of the sky, and you can have a telescope as well. You can see the Milky Way. But if you go 40 miles in any direction, because it's pretty remote, that you can get like a full view of the night sky, like without zero light pollution. Especially go like 60 miles north, I think, to like a state park. But yeah, like
My brother-in-law has an app on his phone where on a really clear night, if he sees like a star cluster and he turns the app on and points it, the app will actually tell him if it's a constellation, what constellation it is, and if there's a planet up there, it will tell him what planet it is, and it's not a
yeah.
star; it's an actual planet. It's an app. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen it. Like I think on TikTok, and it's very affordable to where like you can like put your phone to it, and you can take a picture of it, and it's gonna look like what Paul has. And it's gonna look amazing.
Yeah, well, Paul's got a really big, long telephoto lens on a Canon digital camera. He's got a really good camera. I have a night. I have a Sony digital high definition digital camera, but I don't have a telephoto lens like what he has. But it's good to have a high megapixel digital camera that takes photos and videos, and to have that telephoto lens because you never know what you might see. And if you send your video into paranormal caught on camera, they'll interview you, and you know, and you'll be Andrew Cooper from West Texas, who filmed a cryptid creature at night, or it could be anything. It could be spirits. You know, you could be taking a video of like an old cemetery, and you can catch things anywhere, really, anywhere. You know. Anyway, I'll talk to you soon. I'll send you those photos. All right, Andrew. I'll send you those photos I tell you about the
All right.